Dustin, good to see you. Today we get to talk about 3 strategies to retire with confidence. A recent survey by AARP found many Americans over 50 don't feel confident about their finances. It used to be we could rely on a pension, but now it is our job to save and invest and then pay ourselves in retirement, but not pay ourselves so much that we risk running out of money, which is why tip number 1 is to utilize the bucket strategy. Can you explain this strategy for us, please?
Sure. So this is a relatively simple idea or concept. We may approach it in different ways for different people in different situations, but it's just the idea that we can divide up our financial assets into different buckets, each with a unique purpose and for a unique period of time. So we might look at our first bucket, income that's going to be spent now. We're not so much concerned in bucket 1 with what our rate of return is. We just want that money to be safe, and we want it to be liquid, available to be spent on our immediate financial needs. Then we get to bucket number 2, money that's going to be spent soon. These would typically be income-oriented investments or a conservative portfolio of investments. And then we get to bucket number 3, money that's going to be spent later, sometimes much later. That's where we're going to be more growth-oriented and typically a little bit more aggressive. And we're not only going to focus on different investment strategies, but we're also going to be conscious of taxation when we approach a bucket plan. So, for example, if you are paying an average tax rate of 20%, Aaron, that means in a tax-deferred plan, if you get $1 worth of growth, it's really only worth 80 cents to you
Right.
after you pay the taxes. But if you get $1 worth of growth on a Roth account, which grows tax-free, it's worth 100 cents to you. Mm-hmm. So that last bucket, the most growth-oriented portion of our plan, oftentimes that's where we're going to position that tax-free Roth money so that we can really focus on growing those 100-cent tax-free dollars for your retirement and also for your legacy, the next generation. Right.
Speaking of that first bucket, how much cash should we have on hand in retirement?
That's different for everyone in every situation. General rule of thumb is 6 to 12 months. But if you're going into retirement and a significant portion of your income is coming from, guaranteed sources like Social Security, pensions, or annuity payments, you may be able to even get by with a little bit less.
Okay. All right, let's move on to tip number 2. Consider semi-retirement. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number of people 75 plus who are still working is expected to grow by 96% by 2030. Please talk through the financial and even emotional benefits of a hybrid retirement.
Sure. So semi-retirement is something that can offer a whole lot of confidence because it allows you to essentially test the waters, right? For some people, it may mean going into retirement with part-time work. For others, it might mean one spouse retiring a year or 2 before the other spouse retires. And going into retirement with something like part-time work, it can add cushion to your plan for unforeseen circumstances. Shore up the sustainability of that plan. It can also increase the likelihood that you're going to maintain or increase the size of a legacy if that's something you're planning for the next generation. Mm-hmm. But beyond the financial impacts, continuing to work in some fashion or continuing to volunteer, it can be great for your mind, great for your body. Yeah. Great for your purpose, and it can be a great way to stay socially engaged, which are all really important.
Especially when you are getting older. Absolutely. Last, do the math. In other words, have a plan. But this can get overwhelming. Where do we start?
It can be overwhelming. And probably the number one reason that I see a lack of confidence when someone comes into the office and they're preparing for retirement is simply because they've never really put together a plan.
Yeah.
So we'll usually start by helping people take an inventory of all their guaranteed income sources, Social Security, pensions, annuity payments. Take an inventory of that, project it out with cost of living adjustments. Then we'll take an inventory of what someone actually needs to spend, help them determine what they need to spend to maintain their lifestyle adjusted for inflation. Then we look at what that gap looks like and help them create a plan to bridge that income gap and to do it in a relatively predictable and reliable way. And I've seen this over and over again, Aaron. People come into the office with a lack of confidence, once they've got that sustainable plan for retirement income that's relatively predictable and reliable, oftentimes it means a great relief and a whole lot more confidence.
Absolutely. Peace of mind. If somebody would like to speak with you about creating that plan to get that peace of mind, what's the best way to reach you?
They can text me a question at 830-476-2505 or reach out on the website to book a free chat at longlivemymoney.com.
All right. Dustin, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.